Okay, so today's Pilates we're going to be focusing on our back chain of muscles. So focusing on the hamstrings, the calves, the glutes, the lower back, the QLs, the mid-back, your T-spine, your posture muscles again, and the shoulders, okay? So as well as strengthening up the stability and strength around the core area. Okay, so I'm going to start off with just some nice warming up of the back. So feet underneath the hips, tuck the chin down, draw the belly button in and just go into some half back bends and come back up. So take an inhale and an exhale down. Inhale, hold, exhale, back up. So just stretch out at the top. Let your spine circle, let your arms just relax. Inhale, exhale, back up. We're going to go down now a little bit lower, so exhale. Coming down all the way to the floor if you can. Soft knees, arms relaxed. Inhale, pulling in those belly buttons so you're hollowing back that tummy, and exhale, coming up, trying to stack the spine with each vertebrae, one on top of the other. Roll each vertebrae one by one as you come down. Exhale all the way down. Take an inhale and exhale, come back up. Trying to push the tailbone under, the mid-back, the shoulders, and then the neck. So it has to be in that type of sequence. We're going to come down one more time and hold at the bottom. Inhale now, place your hands on the floor and try to walk your hands out. So, there we go. Your hands are underneath your shoulders, pushing your hands into the floor so that your shoulder blades don't seep down. So, push your hands into the floor as if you're trying to push your chest away from the floor. Tuck your tailbone under and squeeze the glutes and push your heels back towards the back wall. Really switching on the core. And hold for 3, 2, 1. And just come down onto the knees and still holding. Tuck that tailbone under, so don't let your tailbone turn out. Tucking it under and squeezing the glutes. Push your hands into the floor. The more you push your hands into the floor, the more tension you create around your core area. So keep pushing your hands into the floor and tucking your tailbone under. Squeeze the glutes and hold for 3. Really build up that tension. 2. Push your hands into the floor. 1. Sit back onto the heels. Turn your palms up and just let your wrists stretch out and relax. Loosening out those fingers and wrists just to give a little bit of tension off that area. Okay. So we're going to go straight down into our back extension, our swimming, and a couple of other things. So lie face down on the floor, hands out straight, legs out straight, straight into back extension as we've done before. Push the hips down into the floor. Lengthen your fingers, lengthen your toes, stretch away as far as you can. Take an inhale, contract the core, lift the pelvic floor, exhale up and inhale down. Exhale, lifting up, inhale down. We're going to go for 8. Up for 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Coming down. We're going to go straight into swimming. So opposite arm lifts and opposite leg lifts. Exhale on the lift. Inhale, switch. Exhale, lift. Keep pushing the hips down into the floor and stretching the arm and the leg away. So stretch the hand and the toe away as you lift. Really important, okay? So it's not about how high you lift. It's about that stretch away and the tension created as you lift. I'm going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Create that tension. Squeeze everything tight as you lift. Last 2, 1, and down. Okay, bring your elbows in underneath your shoulders and rest your hands down on the floor and just lift your head up, lift your chest up, and then try and from that position tuck your tailbone under slightly. Okay, so you're pulling your abdominals away from the floor and you're creating tension in that core. Switch it on, lifting up those pelvic floors. Taking an inhale as you tighten up your pelvic floors and your core, and then exhale, you're going to lift your right heel, bend the right knee, okay, keep the hips pushed into the floor, and you do a double exhale and a double kick with that heel towards the bum. Inhale, straighten it out, and exhale, switch over to the other side and double kick. Inhale as you stretch and exhale, double kick again. Okay, trying to keep focused on tucking the tailbone under, lifting the pelvic floors, tightening the core, lifting the chest. Okay, now as you do the kick, you don't want your hips sliding or moving with the ground. You want to keep pushing them into the floor, so stabilize. So you're really isolating the hamstring, the back of that, your thighs, the back of your upper leg as you do those little kicks. Stretch the leg away as you finish that kick. More tension you can create, the more you're going to work into that hamstring. Okay, the last 4. Last 2. And 1. And stretch it out. Back into our swimming, but with a back extension. So straighten out the arms and legs again. Come up into back extension as you exhale and hold. And then we're going to lift opposite arm, opposite leg. Come down to back extension, still hovering. Lift on the other side. So we're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down. Well done, and relax. Super. Now take the hands underneath the shoulders. Okay, and we're just going to go into our little push-ups. So tuck the toes under, okay, if you're going to come into a full push-up. If not, okay, we're going to come up onto our knees, okay, so focus on pushing the knees into the floor. Otherwise, if you're coming up into a full push-up, you're going to be pushing your toes into the floor as well as your hands. So what I want you to do is keep the elbows close to your body, and then Okay, we'll go for the beginner push-up first, where you're coming up onto your knees, so it doesn't matter about your feet or your toes. I'm going to push into the floor, lift your chest, tuck the tailbone under, so you're coming up into that plank position. Now as you come back down, keep your body nice and straight, everything coming down at the same time. So aim your chest down between your hands, slowly down to the floor. Okay. Then from there, you're going to take your hands off the floor, squeeze your shoulder blades together, pull your shoulders down away from your ears, push into the floor, come back up into push-up, tuck the tailbone under and hold, exhale all the air out, and slowly come back down again with the elbows tucking back close to your ribs and in line with the mat. Lift the hands off the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades, pull the shoulders down, push into the floor, push up again, slowly coming back down. Lifting up, and if you want to try, come up onto your toes, push your hands into the floor, lift your whole body up, and slowly come back down. Last one. Squeeze and lift your hands off the floor, pull your shoulder blades down your back, push your hands into the floor, pushing up, tuck the tailbone under, then into pike. So lift your hips up, pike or down dog, lift your hips up, push your hands away from your face, away from your body, away into the floor as you push your head through your arms, your ears come through your biceps, and come back down with your tummy towards the floor into your nice back extension. Lift it up again into pike and come back into plank position. Now from plank position, you're going to lift your right foot off the floor and bring your knee in underneath your chest. You're going to lift that leg back up into pike, come down with the knee under the chest, and lift into pike. So we're going to go for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Stretch it out, bring that foot back down, change it over, left knee into the chest and lift. Knee back in underneath the hips, underneath the chest, and go for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Back into double foot pike, back down into back extension, look left, look right, center, sit back onto your heels into child's pose, take the pressure off the wrists again, loosen them out. As you sit back into child's pose, just loosen out those wrists. Relax that breathing into the mat, sinking into the mat. And we're going to come back up into our 4-point position. So a nice box position, hands underneath the shoulders. Now if the wrists are really sore, you can come down and do it on your elbows. Okay, that's no problem. The wrist can be quite a high tension area for a lot of people. So come down onto your elbows, just bring the elbows in underneath the shoulders. Okay, so you want to again switch that core on, so tuck that tailbone under and draw in those abdominal muscles, lift up the pelvic floors. Exhale, reach opposite arm, opposite leg. Inhale, come back into the center, and exhale, reach out on the other side. Keep that tailbone tucked under so your core stays switched on. Come back in, keeping that back nice and straight. Exhale as you reach. Inhale, come back in. And exhale, reaching away. So keep those hands in that 4-point position. Try to reach the fingers and the toes away from each other as you stretch. Come back in, keep the back nice and straight. This is your bird dog. Keep that tailbone tucked under. Inhale back in and exhale, reach on the other side. Okay. Last two. Last one, reach it out, really stretch the fingers and hands, fingers on your hands and the toes away from each other. Coming back in, come down onto the elbows if you're not down already, down onto the elbows. Okay, knees out in line with the hips, and just focus, keep the knees underneath the hips. We're going to focus on the lower back, so lifting that back, tuck the tailbone under, then drawing your belly down towards the floor, turn your bum out. Now try and do that without rocking on your knees or your hips, so without moving back and forth. Tuck the tailbone under, and turn it back out. Focusing on that lower back, your lumbar spine, loosening it out. So every time you do it, just try to find something new, try to find a new way of connecting with the different parts of your spine, the different joints. So it's a nice stretch to finish off with. Takes the pressure off the wrists as well. You can do it in your 4-point position, focusing on the whole spine, but this one is really focused on that lower spine. And we're just going to come up. You can stay on the wrist if you want, or come up, stay on the elbow, or come up onto the wrist. We're going to just stretch out those shoulders, reaching under and stretching. Come back in and change. Switch to the other side. Thread the needle. Come back in, one more on each side. Get that beautiful stretch. Try and reach those fingers away. Push the hand into the floor, stretch it out. Come back in and change. Perfect. Sit back on those heels, stretch out into your child's pose. Take all that pressure off the wrist again. Relax with the breathing. Inhale and exhale. Now one last time into a baby plank. So into your box plank, back into box position. This time you're curling your toes under, and again creating the tension in the core. Think about pushing your hands into the floor, and then lift your knees, just float them off the ground about half an inch. Tuck in that tailbone, pull in the belly button, zip up those pelvic floors, push the hands into the floor for 3, 2, 1. Then push your heels into the floor, into pike, push your head through your arms. Now walk your hands back and hold in front of your feet if you can. Stretch it out. Wow, I feel so much looser. I can hold my hands down on the floor, nice and comfortable now. Now take your hands off and relax those fingers and wrists. Take an inhale and really draw in your pelvic floors and your belly button. And exhale, begin to suck in that belly button and roll up that spine. Focus on the movement of the spine as you do that roll. And just relax at the top. Okay, make sure the blood flow is good again. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Just loosen it. The wrists, roll on the shoulders again, open up that chest. As you turn those palms around and open up those shoulders. Okay, and that's working all those back muscles, which is really important and helps again to open up our posture, which we were working on last week. So it's just a great continuation of focusing on the posture and getting, you know, nice and tall and open. Again, thinking about all those workers at home who are closed in like this all day, or even if you're holding babies, or, you know, you're just lazy and about at home. We're all going to be in this position a lot all day, so it's nice to just get all that opening up of the spine. It's a nice one to do as well in the morning time, just to wake up the spine. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. See you again on Wednesday at 11, and we'll try and get a nice 20-minute flow of all the major areas that we have been working on so far up to this. So we're into week 5. Hope you've been joining in. Go back over some of the other videos, put a couple together, get a nice 40 or 1 hour long workout all together. Take care.